What is up, everyone? Guys, listen up. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the orbitals and the eagles against the illuminates. And the way we're going to be rating these guys is which one of these makes the highest difficulty of the game easier. The missions, whatever it is, right? So do keep that in mind. The first one that I want to talk about is the orbital napalm. Now, you guys know the fire changes happened, and fire right now is absolutely cooking and blasting, right? It's ridiculously good. It's so much fun to use, and especially against the illuminates, an incredible clearing tool, even for the flash mobs and whatnot. So what we're gonna do is right away drop this into Big PP, one of the best orbitals right now in the game against the illuminates. Feels very, very consistent and just feels good across the board if you're trying to clear big hordes of enemies. And let's be honest, that's what illuminates are right now, dude. Like, they're running at you non-stop. The game feels so much fun right now, right? But overall, yeah, we're gonna just open up with this one. And also keep in mind, the fire isn't just good for clearing the smaller ads, right? Like, if there's a harvester running into fire, it takes tons of damage, and a lot of the times they will go down, which can make a big difference when you're fighting a bunch of enemies at the same time. Next up, we have the cluster. Now, once again, it's the kind of the same story, meaning that the illuminates don't have a lot of heavy units that this can't really deal with. So when it comes to clearing, it actually does a very good job, and you have a lot of uses. So if you're looking for a stratagem that gets the job done when it comes to clears and getting those crazy amounts of zombies off of you, then this is gonna be for you. We're gonna drop this into A tier. Smoke goes to D tier. I don't want to waste your time. Then we have the burst orbital. Now, this is very interesting when it comes to burst, because you guys know that the way the ships act kind of changed, right? So the angles at which these come in now can be very drastic because the ships are rotating around the map, right? In that case, it's kind of weird to use it on this map because a lot of the times the angles change. There's a lot of buildings and whatnot. It's just not as effective. It really isn't. So we're going to throw this into B tier. Is it fun? Yes. But is it like really effective? Not really. Okay. Then is the gas orbital. Now this one, speaking of effectiveness, very effective. We're going to throw this in high A tier as well. The reason is that it just has incredible crowd control. And when you're getting swarmed, not just by the zombies, but even the elevated overseers, it gets them, which means that the survivability you have skyrockets if placed correctly. Now, obviously, you got to be strategic about it. And there is a skill gap on where you're going to drop it. So you just don't want to just throw it in without any thought. But once placed correctly, the gas is very strong and it has a very low cooldown as well. Next up is the precision strike. Now, the precision strike against the illuminates, it's one of those things where you're not going to find a lot of uses for it. Are you going to go for the harvester? Not really. It's not worth it. Harvesters can be taken out by an eruptor, for example, and whatnot. And if there's 2 or 3, then you're cooked anyway. So are you going to waste this on a flash mob? I feel like there's better ones to pick up when it comes to clearing, or even flash mobs as well. So we're going to drop this in between A and B. It still can be pretty decent, but it's nothing crazy at the moment. And then the eagle smoke. Dude, listen up. This thing cracked out of its mind right now. You throw this directly at the Leviathan gets confused and it smashes into buildings. Everybody chill out, okay? It's a joke. Once again, I'm sorry. I kind of got addicted to doing this, right? But it's a joke. It's not good, okay? We're going to throw this into D tier. Next up is the laser. Now, this one, no joke, for me personally, goes right over here, right next to the orbital napalm. The reason I like the laser so much is because it deals with everything on the illuminate side without any issues. And if there's a bunch of ships, you throw in the laser, literally forget it. Ships, a bunch of overseers, flash mobs, whatever it is, it will cook them up. So it is very good against the illuminates. Now, that said, the problem is kind of the cooldown, obviously. Hopefully in the future, they either give us ship upgrades where we can have like maybe 2 lasers flying down or something, I don't know, crazy, or just drop the cooldown by like 50% or at least 30%. That would be very nice, or just give us unlimited uses. That would also be good on bigger missions and so on. But right now, very, very solid. Love running it. I combine it, for example, with the strafing, and it just feels good. Gattling barrage, kind of a weird one. The consistency, not really there. If I want to just get ad clear, right? Boom, cluster. Insane job. Boom, gas. Incredible. Strafing. Awesome. Gatling, not so much. And we're going to throw this into C tier at the moment. Then we have the rail cannon strike. One of my favorites when it comes to like animation, the sound design, like see this red laser, boom, like delete something. Awesome. The problem is the rail cannon strike, the laser, none of these target, for example, the Leviathan. And as I said, when it comes to the Illuminates, you don't have a bunch of super heavy targets that you have to struggle with. And that's why I like the laser. If there's 3 harvesters, boom, deleted, right? But with this one, you get only 1. So it's almost in the same situation as the precision strike, but at least the precision strike has an area of effect. This one doesn't. It's a single target hit, but I wouldn't really waste this, for example, on a flash mob or even a harvester. You know what I mean? There are much better ways to take him out. So we're going to throw this into B tier. Strafing, on the other hand, goes to A tier. It has ad clear. It can take out the bigger targets. It can break the shields. And the crazy thing is you can even take out the Leviathans with it. If you place them correctly, me and Takiba were testing this right away as the Leviathans popped up. And most of the time we're taking them down with 2 of these, well placed. And then sometimes we would need 3. But you can at least deal damage pretty easily with the strafing to the Leviathans. So that's something to keep in mind. But obviously that's not going to be the main point you're using this against the Illuminates. The main point is going to be clearing, comboing with support weapons, and so on. Great stratagem as of right now against the Illuminates. EMS strike. The problem is gas exists and it also deals damage. It's a great radius. Yeah, we're not going to be running this. We are not going to throw this into D tier, but we are going to throw it into C tier. I do think that it's more valuable than the smoke, so I'm not going to put it next to them. But across the board, yeah, it doesn't go higher than C at the moment. Then we have the walking barrage. Guys, a lot of the missions have a bunch of ships. A lot of the missions have a lot of Illuminates running at you in the city biome. And that makes barrage very consistent. You drop it, you see these explosions kind of moving forward, taking them out, destroying the ships. We're going to throw this into A tier. The napalm. Okay, here we go. Napalm is a monster right now. It really is. Fire damage feels incredible at the moment in the game. More tick damage on the heavier enemies and whatnot. Dude, you can't go wrong with this one. Like, it feels good. You get a lot of call-ins as well. So one of my favorites, you guys remember I used to run this against the bugs all the time. But now this is even very, very good because it's fire damage against the Illuminates as well. The damage is awesome. The tick damage is great. You got a lot of call-ins. The initial hits do amazing at clear. Yeah, we're going to throw it into big PP right here. Then we have the 380 and the 120. They're awesome right now. They're very, very strong. I do think against the Illuminates, fire is very powerful. So I feel like the orbital napalm, for example, is a little bit better because after it's done dealing tons of damage and the destruction that it causes, it leaves such a big area of fire that nothing really gets through. Like they're getting annihilated, including the flash mobs, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to throw these on top of A tier as well. Both of them are very good. And what causes these stratagems change from faction to faction, and in this case for Illuminate, is that there's a lot of ships, a lot of like ground enemies which walk into these all the time, and the ships get destroyed left and right. Like, for example, when I do solo runs for like weapon XP, or if you're farming medals, is I just pick up 380, 120, the laser, you know what I mean? Those kind of things. And I just keep chugging them in every different direction, get tons of kills and destroy ships, and I'm out. Like within 2 minutes, just like that, the mission's complete. Then we have the Eagle airstrike, which has always been a very consistent tool across the board, and it gets the job done, right? So we're going to throw this into A tier as well. Very solid option. The 110s still don't have an identity, okay? They just don't. I haven't tested this in depth against the bugs, and there's a few things that I want to test when it comes to the 110s against the bugs. And I have some awesome builds in mind. So we are going to be doing that. But currently against the Illuminates, guys, there's no reason to run this. Like, you're not going to be running this. Like, look how many good options you have when you're playing on max difficulty against the Illuminates. The fire, the laser, the napalms, the 120s, the 380s, the gas. It's just so much fun and so much variety. Like, all of these things you can use right now, and they create awesome build crafting options. And on top of that, dude, your loadouts are so much more fun because you can swap any of these, right? Like, it also depends on playstyle. So for example, you might be like, you know what? I don't like fire that much. And that's fine if you don't like it, right? And you might think, you know what? The 380 is just better. I like the 380 more. Let me throw that in there, right? boom, that's absolutely fine as well. So the point I'm trying to make is everything that is an A tier doesn't mean that it's much worse than whatever's above it, right? There's still like all of these things, very strong, very powerful, great loadouts will come out of this. So you can technically move these around a little bit depending on your playstyle, and I would be absolutely fine with it. But these are the best of the best when it comes to performing on the highest difficulty and clearing the missions as easily as possible. And that's the goal of this tier list. So the 110 is not part of that group of stratagems that's going to make your runs easier, which means we're going to throw this into C tier. Honestly, I don't know, maybe B. No, we're going to throw it into C. It is what it is. And then the 500 kg, one of my favorite stratagems in the game. Against the Illuminates, it's not as strong. It's still very decent, but it's not as strong as it is, for example, with the other two factions, okay? We are going to still drop this into A tier, right? But let me explain why I think it's on the lower side here. So when it comes to clear destruction of the ships, that's when the laser, the 120, the 380, barrage, all of these come in. When it comes to clearing though, and like dealing massive damage across the maps, that's when the orbital napalm, also the laser as well, also the 380, also the 120. You see where I'm going? So all of these kind of do whatever the 500 does, but better for the Illuminates. Like the 500 is something you drop and you forget about that area, right? But these also kind of do the same. And because there's not many heavy targets, because that's where the 500 usually shines, you see a factory strider, you throw it in, right? You see a Bile Titan, you throw it in. Bunch of impalers, chargers, you throw it in. You don't have those gatherings of heavier enemies on the Illuminate sides, so there's not much reason to kind of concentrate your shot in one place to deal damage. You'd rather have something that spreads all this damage, destroys the ships, and also deals damage to the units. That's why it kind of falls off a little bit. However, when it comes to the ad clear, that's where it also falls off a little bit, because you got tools that just do it better. For example, the napalm with the fire is incredible when it comes to ad clear. The gas is incredible. The airstrike, the cluster, the strafing. So you guys see it's kind of in a weird spot right now where everything that it does really better than all of these isn't really needed that much on the Illuminate side. Be in between A and B, right? That's what we're going to do. But don't get me wrong, it's still a very solid option. One problem that I have noticed though, there could be two ships. I'll drop it in between. Explosion happens. Both ships are still there. They're not destroyed. The shields go away, but the ships are still there. So yeah, it definitely has its issues when it comes to the Illuminates. But this is going to be our overall ranking for the Eagles and Orbitals. Make sure to let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on all of this. I've been having a blast playing against the Illuminates. Thank you for all the love and support. Stay positive, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all on the next one.